Hello, everybody. My name is Drew Leader. I'm a professor of philosophy, also with a medical degree, teaching at Loyola University, Maryland in Baltimore. And I'm talking today from my new book, The Healing Body, Creative Responses to Aging, Illness, and Affliction, which includes within it what I call a chessboard of healing, a whole different set of possibility spaces, strategies that people use to heal, that is, to find a kind of existential wholeness, fulfillment, a positive quality of life, even in the face sometimes of serious chronic illness, injury, disability, the changes of aging, etc. All of us experience sooner or later elements of our body breaking down and challenging us. And in previous videos, I've talked about this dialectic between, in some ways, I am my body. We wouldn't say, for example, my mouth is talking to your ears. We just would say, I am talking to you. But in other ways, I have my body. My body, I know, is an object out there in the world, available to the scrutiny of others, and also kind of a machine that can break down and thwart my will. So we talked about how you can, when you get ill, you can either move toward your body, kind of listening to it, befriending it, supporting it, or you can move away from your body and say, I can transcend its limitations, or I can ignore my symptomatology. I can refuse to be limited by it. And neither of these strategies, none of these strategies are really better than the other. They're just suited to different personality types or different moments in your history of playing chess, so to speak, with the illness that you're struggling with. And sometimes we need to change strategies. We need to look at the chessboard where we've positioned our pieces and other possibilities we haven't considered. So on my website, simply www.drewleader, I have a kind of interactive chessboard of healing you can play with. But today we're focusing on a square I call restoring. And this is basically saying, I not only am my body, I know I have my body, but my body supports something that philosophers have called the I can. If I say I can play soccer, or I could go to the kitchen, I could make a meal, and I could eat it, and I could digest it. All of these I cans flow directly out of my bodily habits and abilities, which also have been conditioned by the culture in which I live. I've had to be taught certain routines by my parents, et cetera, et cetera. But the body not only supports this I can structure of habitual ability, it also has a lot of I can'ts. I can't fly to the grocery store if I realize I'm missing an ingredient for my meal. My body's not capable of doing that. And especially when we are ill or have a disability or simply are slowing down with age, uh, we begin to flip a little bit more from the I can to the I can't. I used to be able to do this, but after the injury, or now that I have this chronic illness, I can't anymore. And one of the ways in which people deal with this is, once again, I call it restoring. They try to restore their previous capabilities. If you wanted to plot it out according to temporality, you could say, in the past, I used to be able to do this. I can't in the present, but I'm hoping in the future to be able to loop back and recover my past abilities. And this is an important component of what's often called rehabilitation. Let's say you have a frozen shoulder and you do kind of range of motion exercises to try to restore mobility. Or let's say you've had a stroke, which has impacted your movement and your speech centers, and you work very hard with the assistance of a medical team to recover movement, to recover language abilities. So once again, you're restoring what the illness has taken away from you. However, there's always a shadow side to any healing strategy if we try to use it excessively or inappropriately. Sometimes it's simply not going to be possible to fully restore what we were able to do in the past. We're going to have to accept that these changes are irrevocable. I've gotten older, or this illness makes it simply impossible for me to go hiking in the way that I used to. And actually, in the next video I make, we're going to talk about a different strategy called transforming. How do I transform the way in which I use my body? How do I transform the way in which I interact with the world in order to become whole and healing and healed, rather than just getting stuck on the chess space called restoring. I have to restore the way I did things previously and the entire set of abilities I had previously. So anyway, of course, I go into much of this in greater depth in that book I mentioned, The Healing Body. And I thank you for tuning in on this video.